Okay, so in phase 2 of our hip extension exercise, what we're going to do is a bridge. And what we'll do is we'll progress it from a standard bridge to an alternating heel lift bridge. We're just going to kind of progress it slightly. But you want the intensity to be mild to moderate in intensity. We're not looking to really fatigue and break down the muscle group. We're just looking to, again, intentionally contract and hold the sustained contraction for a period of time. So it's a dynamic, kind of isometric exercise where you're not going to unload in between each rep as we did in the first version, but rather you're going to sustain a mild to moderate intensity contraction, tension through the system throughout the rise and fall, but with a sustained isometric at the top. So this first one, we're going to lie on our back. We're going to set our shoulder blades down and back against the floor, and then we want to make sure that we button, using our abdomen, our pelvis and our rib cage kind of so that our low back is in a neutral curve. We don't want to slam our low back into the floor, nor do we want it to be arched up like a bridge. We want to find that middle point. And from here, our feet are right below our sit bones, or about hip width apart. And what we're going to do is, using our shoulders and our arms and our heels, we're going to raise our pelvis towards the ceiling. It's really the last 5 or 10% of movement where we're kind of raising the pubic bone as high as we can, where we start to feel the glutes really engage. The first portion of the movement can easily be accomplished by the hamstrings, and our focus is, our attention is on building the contractibility of the hip extensor group. So we're going to bring our hips up and push our pelvis up as high as we can and sustain that contraction, bracing through and around the waist and pressing our shoulders down and back into the floor as we hold for the 6 to 8 seconds, and then rest down, and then repeat. Come right back up without rest. So you'll hold 6 to 8 seconds at the top. And then, as I mentioned, if we wanted to add a little bit of more intensity, to raise the intensity scale, you'll come to the top, and then once at the top position, you'll shift your weight onto one side as you lift the heel of the opposite side. So it's not a big movement, really just looking to shift pressure across the body so that we're now getting this increased load across the one hip. And then back to center, and then down to the floor. And we'll repeat and we'll alternate to the opposite side. So there's not a lot of movement, but you're just shifting pressure into one limb, sustaining that pelvic position, holding for 6 to 8, returning it to the midpoint of both feet, and then resting down. Again, 6 to 8 reps of each. So in total, you're doing about 12 if you count the right and left side.